Munchkins and viewers alike, it's me Munchie, and I have a big announcement for you guys in regards to my foster hamster Daisy. So Daisy just was adopted this week, so congratulations to Daisy. She was my first ever foster hamster and I'm so proud that she went to such a good home. So as you guys know, I foster cats and now I'm switching to fostering small animals, and she was my first hamster, so I was very nervous about this, especially since she came from a neglected situation and I wasn't so sure if there was going to be somebody out there that was suitable for her just because she has special needs, and she would not have been a good hamster for children or inexperienced people. So I'm happy to say I found somebody, and of course whenever I post the listing for the adoption, I always include cage requirements. Because I am fostering cats, I usually do home checks, but in this case I was not able to do a home check, but I asked people to send me multiple photos of their cage setup, and I had requirements as to how big a cage needs to be in order for me to feel comfortable letting Daisy go to a good home. Unfortunately, I had a lot of people sending me inquiries about her and saying, hey, I want to adopt her, when they did not have a suitable cage. They said that they were going to get something very small, and I just said no thanks. If you are not willing to upgrade and or listen to me, I will not relinquish her to you. So unfortunately, I did have one person like that they just did not want to upgrade. They didn't think that there was anything wrong, and with that I just completely stopped talking to that person. But then this person comes along and she meets all the requirements. She passed her cage inspection and we were able to meet very soon, and Daisy was adopted. So I was very happy about that, and I'm just very thankful that I found somebody like her because she reminded me of me, because she cared a lot about animal welfare, and she also was very thankful that there was somebody like me who is fostering small animals, because I'm not the only one in this area. However, there is hardly anybody anywhere fostering small animals, so that's really cool. So of course, now that Daisy's gone, what or who is going to be my next foster? So I went out and rescued a Syrian hamster female, and I'll tell you her story here in a little bit, but I just want to encourage anybody who wonders what's fostering, what can I do to foster. Fostering is when you take an animal out of a situation, putting it in your home temporarily, getting them used to you, seeing how their personality is, and then finding a suitable home for them once you figure out their personality and their needs. When it came to Daisy, because I found out she was aggressive and was not going to change, she needed to go to somebody who had experience. I'm glad I did that, because fostering actually helps these animals out find better suitable homes, whereas they could have been in a shelter, they could have been out on the streets, they could have been in somebody else's care that did not know what they were doing. So that is why I foster, and I highly encourage you guys to go look up fostering too. With the new foster, unfortunately she was oh my gosh, I need to rescue this hamster now, because she was not in a good place. I just want to show you, since I have this here and this is for educational purposes only, I am never going to be putting anything in this cage. This is terrible. I'll show you what she was in when I got her. She's a full-grown adult female Syrian, and those adult female Syrians get very big, much bigger than the opposite sex. Fully grown female Syrian in this. What the heck? And guess what wheel size this is, guys? This is about a 4-inch wheel. I want to speculate 4.5. I haven't completely measured it yet, but it looks like one of those silent spinners that is very small, which silent spinners are 4.5, 6.5, and 12 inches as of right now. They're supposed to be getting a 10-inch wheel out, but of course KT is being very slow with that. So when I saw the ad, I was freaked out because I thought, who could do this? I was hoping that the hamster, since the listing did not say much about the hamster, I was hoping it was a very young hamster, but when I saw the cage and the size of the hamster next to that wheel in the photo, I panicked. So I immediately texted the person within the hour inquiring about the hamster, saying what sex is it, how old is it, and unfortunately the person did not answer all my questions and was just only responding to a couple, but the person was willing to give me her address so I can go to her house, which usually I do not do that. I like public places, but they were just seeming okay with me coming in, and it was in a nice neighborhood, so I wasn't too worried. And thankfully when I got there, it was a family-friendly home. So the listing said free hamster with small cage, and of course they acknowledged that it was a small cage, friendly and handles well, just don't have time for it. So So when you hear the words, just don't have time for it, most of the time it is, we don't want to care for it anymore, we're moving on. But sometimes it is where people are like, oh, we just don't have the money anymore, and that sounds more like impulse buying, where they just buy it at that time, not really think about the future of the animal or the person purchasing the animal, and then relinquishing it many months down the road and or a month or two later, because that does happen quite often, especially around here on Craigslist. People just buy them, and then instead of returning them to the pet store of which they bought them from, they just post them on Craigslist thinking they can get all their money back, which is awful. But anyways, in this situation, she wrote that and I just wanted to inquire more, but unfortunately I didn't until I actually arrived there. So when I did arrive there, I was met with a little boy holding the hamster in his arms in the middle of the day. And at first I was like, oh my god, no, this is not good. You shouldn't be taking the hamster out during the daytime. But the hamster looked comfortable, and the little kid, which I speculate he was about 7, he was very friendly. And there was 2 other siblings of his, and the mom and dad, which the mom I talked to, and she had red hair and she was pretty cool. And they were a very nice family. However, when they handed me the cage when I first saw it, I was just so taken back. And when I looked at the hamster, I realized this is a full-grown female Syrian. So when they told me they got her at PetSmart a year ago and they've had her for a year, after hearing that, I thought, oh my goodness, does this hamster have any sort of medical issues like a curved spine or deformed spine or something? I was just very worried. And the little boy actually was helping me out because they gave me some bedding as well as Timothy hay? I don't know why, and they use Timothy hay as bedding because in here, I will take this all out, but you can see in here that all they were using was Timothy hay, and I took out the igloo that was in here and a chew toy, but you can see this is not much room for a hamster, and they gave me no food with the hamster. Thankfully I have food at home, and so I started putting her on that food, but I'd rather transition her to a new food rather than just be all like, here, I don't know what you had, eat this. And of course they give me something that should not be used for hamsters because of health reasons. A lot of hamsters have respiratory issues, and if you use pine, pine is not a safe wood. The safe wood to be using if you're using any wood shavings is aspen. Pine is very dangerous for small animals of any sort. Plus, it doesn't make a good burrow, so paper is always preferred. So I'm surprised that they didn't put the pine shavings in. I'm glad they didn't, but just seeing the Timothy hay in there, it really concerned me because this is not good bedding for a hamster. And as you can see in here, there's nowhere for her to burrow. I mean, look at this. This pan is so damn shallow. It's really bad. So when I saw that, I was just, this is such a neglect case because of negligence. They did not know any better. They didn't care to do the research or to look up. This looked like a family that was overwhelmed and just happened to impulse buy this hamster when they saw it at the pet store. And I found out the reason why they were getting rid of this hamster. It was because just that day, their female cat, who was not spayed, had a litter of 7 kittens. So you could just tell by the family of 3 kids, 2 adults, 1 cat that just had a litter of 7 kittens, they were overwhelmed. So as I was taking the hamster away, they let me know what the hamster's name was. Hammy. Hammy. What an original name. So I changed it, and I'll let you know what I changed it to here in a little bit. But as I was leaving, the boy was helping me out with all this stuff, and unfortunately I did not speak up and say, hey, this is not proper care for a hamster if you happen to get another one in the future. It's just when you take something from somebody, you don't want to be negative, because then they have a reverse effect where they're like, oh, they're just, you know, trash talking me, and they get offended, they get very defensive. So unfortunately, it's really hard to be approaching somebody about the care of the hamster that they had because they just didn't know any better. So this is why I am telling you guys out there, please do your research. This is terrible to see. This is terrible that this keeps happening because we're allowing it, because pet stores are not letting people know about the care, and or people are not wanting to do their research first before owning a pet. So as we were walking out to the car, the little kid spotted Domino's, and I'm like, oh, do you like Domino's? He said, yeah, but we can't afford it. What? Oh my god, that broke my heart. I was like, I need to get this kid pizza. But at that moment, I couldn't do that. Just hearing the kids say they couldn't afford to eat pizza, the $5.99 deals at Domino's are amazing. They couldn't afford that? That's This is like a 7-year-old child saying he can't afford it, or their family can't afford it. Wow, you can tell just by me saying that. They are overwhelmed, and really they probably should not have pets. If they have 3 kids and their kids can't even get pizza, you should not have a pet. I'm saying that now. These people should not have pets, unfortunately. When they're in a better situation, have a pet. Go ahead. But right now, not a good situation. And it sucks that I couldn't take those kittens because you know me, I love fostering. But they needed their mother's milk, and I just hope that person gets her cat spayed. They have spay clinics down here, $15 or $10 depending on who you go to. They are posted all over the place at pet stores. You should know better, especially since you see these advertised online all the time. People should know better, but they don't. They just don't, and it sucks. So anyways, let's take a closer look at the wheel here, shall we? If I can get it out of this cage, because this is just mother effing god awful. This is tiny. And she was running on that. Super duper small. You want to know what she's running on right now? She is running on an 8.5-inch wheel. I would like to get her a bigger wheel. I've been waiting for that KT to come out, but she still doesn't have any problems running on this. Her back is not curving, but I would like to get her something a little bit bigger because she is the female. But this is what she was on before. Look at this comparison. Look at it. That is awful. Oh my god. Just take it in, guys, because I am really upset by this. Wow. I mean, you would have to not care too much about the animal to not see that it's in pain while running on such a small wheel. Do people not realize that there's big wheels for a reason? Like, how did they not see this? How did those owners not see this is so freaking small? Like, even you could take this out and you can attach it because it has an attachable back to a wire cage. You could put this, which was only about $8 or $9 that I bought at PetSmart, which you bought this cage at PetSmart apparently. So let me introduce you guys to the new Foster Hamster, Miss Frizzle.
Seatbelts, everyone!
This is Miss Frizzle here. She is such a beauty, isn't she? Unfortunately, when I got her, I noticed some major issues right away. First off, she has some neurological issues with her brain, which indicates that she might have been dropped. Especially with kids, knowing kids, they probably did drop her. But she would suddenly be running on the wheel, and then suddenly she would kind of twist her head and run into things. And that to me sounds like she might have some brain damage from being possibly dropped. And then the next one is, of course, her spine. She does have a waddle. Of course, with female Syrians, they do waddle a little bit when they walk. But to me, it kind of looks like her spine may have a little bit of deformity, and or it could just be that her spine is very sore. Like, I feel like she has sprained her spine or something to do with that really tiny wheel. What did they do to you? You're so friendly though. As you can see here, she is kind of like an orange cream color, short hair, fancy Syrian, and she's just really adorable. But let me just put her on this wheel for comparison, all right? As you can see, she's in her wheel completely fine without having to curve her back. But let me just transfer you to the new wheel. I won't let her run in it, but can you get in there? I'm just gonna plop you in there. There we go. Look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at this. She can't even go in the wheel. Look at that. Look at that. This is what she was in. Oh my god, you poor thing. You can't be straight in this wheel. She doesn't even want to be in here. Look at that. She has to be like completely flat out on my hand. And that is just awful. Oh, I'm so sorry, Miss Frizzle. Anyways, I called her Miss Frizzle because you know how Miss Frizzle on the Magic School Bus has a few screws loose, it seems. Yeah, that's what I thought about this little hammy right here. She has a few screws loose, but she's all fun. She's all fun and enjoyable, and she's very sweet, just like Miss Frizz. Of course, she's not a long-haired Syrian hamster, which would have been perfect because you know Miss Frizzle with her frizzy hair, but I think she is such an adorable little hamster, and I've bonded with her. As you can see right there. Oh, she's so adorable. But anyway, she is gonna be my foster hamster. And then the next person that owns her will hopefully understand where she came from, and I will hopefully find a good home for her. And Syrians, oh, I feel like they really do need more than 450 square inches. And I just think that it might just be hard knowing that a lot of people out there do not know about the cage requirements or know about the updated hamster care, that it might be harder to be rehoming Syrians. But I'm gonna try my best with her. I'm gonna try to find somebody who understands about her needs. But thank you guys so much for watching this foster video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry if anything really upset you, just like the cage size upsetted me, especially with that wheel. But she turned out to be a very cute hamster. But I'm just going to enjoy my time with her until it's time for her to be adopted out. So if you liked the video, hit like to show support, comment down below if you'd like to say anything or welcoming Miss Frizzle into the Munchkin family for a temporary time, because you guys know I like fostering, so she's not gonna be mine. Oh, look at you, you're so hyper right now. Yeah, look at you. And if you wanna be a part of the Munchkin family and would like to see more content from me, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video before I drop her, which I'm not going to, because I'm not a child that's gonna get freaked out because she's moving too fast. Because you're not. Syrians are so easy. Oh, they are, and they're so precious, and oh, I miss my Syrian. My very first cuddly Syrian. She was also from PetSmart too, little Missy. But anyways, guys, hope you liked the video, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye!